Hello everyone, and welcome to the musical analysis of Don't Cry by Guns N' Roses. The guitar solo was written and played by the legendary Slash. It's very iconic. Basically, I don't think there's a lot of people who listen to rock and roll and doesn't know about this song and this very awesome guitar solo. So the song is in G sharp minor. And G sharp minor is made of these notes: G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, and a G sharp. So that's what this. So the song is in the key of G sharp, and the quality is minor basically. So let's start off. Slash start off with a slide to basically the tonic, which is G sharp. And unlike the Pantera Domination guitar solo, this one has a backing track. Had a harmonic backing track. And this one start off with the G sharp, which is basically a tonic. He's giving off a strong feeling of a tonic at the start of the solo, which is what you should do. I mean, you can use other degrees, but especially back then, in that era, it's still most safe to start off your solo with a tonic feeling, with a home feeling. You can use other degrees like the subdominant or dominant, but tonic is basically the safest option. So that's what he did in here. He did a slide to the G sharp. And then he did a bend from C sharp to D sharp, and did basically what he did is, and then pull off to B, and he did that on basically a weak beat. This is a weak beat, so he can do that. It's a little dissonant. It's a little dissonant, but it's quickly resolved by doing a bend to the fifth, which is inside the G sharp power chord. It's quickly resolved, and then he does a pull off to the B, which exists in the G sharp minor chord, not the power chord. But he can do that because the power chord doesn't have a quality, and the third degree gives it that quality. So he can do that, and that's what he did in here. It sounded well, it sounded perfect, it fits 100%, there's nothing musically ambiguous or weird that's happening here. And then he plays the C sharp again, and he lingers on. But on top of it, as you can see in here, he played the C sharp power chord, which is the fourth degree. So we're in a safe spot. He's giving off a strong subdominant feeling by the melody playing basically the subdominant note, and the harmony playing the subdominant power chord. So that's what's happening here, and the next lick goes something like that. So what's happening here is a semitone bend from C sharp to D, and a D isn't in the G sharp minor scale. There's a D sharp and a C sharp. So what's happening here is he's playing a pentatonic blues. It's a blues note, and he's in here. It's a little spicy, but on the one hand, it's on a weak beat. So it's not even on beat. It's a syncopa. It's out of beat. So he can do that. It's a little spicy, so you need to be careful if you use something like that in your solos. But it's on a weak beat, and it doesn't matter. It's still a pentatonic path, so it's fine. But if you want to use that on your own solos, you need to be kind of careful. So afterwards, what he does is, after the semitone bend, a full bend from C sharp to D sharp, which is from subdominant to dominant, and he plays the F sharp note, which is very loud. And because the F sharp is part of the it's the second note of the fifth degree chord, which which is an G sharp minor, D sharp minor in this case. But he's playing the F sharp. So it is in the it's within key. There's nothing wrong with it. But what's kind of wrong with it is he's playing the 6th degree power chord, the E5 power chord. So this one gives it a little spice. So what he did is he played the 5th power chord, basically the C sharp, which is a part of the 6th degree. It's not part of the 6th degree, but it's part of the 6th degree 7th, if you want to think of it like that way. But I don't believe that Slash did think of it that way. I think he just played note that sounded well. But it does sound well because it's on a strong beat. So this one is a little spicy in basically classical music standards. But he quickly resolves it by bending basically from the 4th degree to the 5th and playing the F sharp. So this gives us suspension chord feeling. It's a little spicy, but apparently Slash didn't want it to sound it that way, and it works fine. It worked well. It sounded well. So again, no complaints. But if Mozart heard that, he would probably have a stroke and die. So he played the 6th degree basically for the entirety of the second half of the bar, and again it's a pre-bend from 4 to 5, from C sharp to D sharp. No, it's not a pre-bend actually. It's basically a D sharp, not a C sharp. My bad. It's basically playing a C sharp, and then he goes down a pre-bend to basically C sharp, and then does a pull off to the B, which is a part of the 6th degree, 6th degree power chord, 6th degree chord and power chord as well. But then he does a bend again from the 4th degree to the 5th degree, and he plays an F sharp power chord on top of it, and that gives us the 7th degree. So he wanted to have a 6th degree, 7th degree feeling, and then afterwards he plays the G sharp and F sharp. So he knows what he's doing here. He's playing by scale. He's going up the chords of the scale, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then jumps back to the F sharp, which is very common in metal to play something like that. It's a very common use for the minor scale, even pentatonic minor. That's why the pentatonic minor is very famous in metal as well, because of this. That's how you finish a song, start a song. It sounds well, it sounds good, it sounds heavy. That's what he did here, basically. So again, a full bend from the 4th degree, from C sharp to D sharp, and plays the F sharp note. Sorry. So this is entirely fine. He's within the 7th degree range. He's playing a little notes that are in the 7th degree range, 7th degree chord, I mean. But he's playing all of them on a weak beat, and they're not staying for a long time. So he's resolving them really quickly. And the next strong, this is a strong beat. Those are off beats. This is a weak beat. So he's doing a great job on that. And the next part comes in when he plays this 7. So he played the tonic and a tonic power chord, and then played the 7th degree and a 7th degree power chord, and then this is the 4th, which is a little weird for the 7th degree. It's not weird if you want it to be an introverted power chord, because then it's part, like the 4th degree is part of the 7th chord. It's basically the 3rd note. It's a 5th above it. It's a 5th above the F sharp. I believe that's how I want it to sound, and it's just only inverted. So it's fine. Again, I'm thinking too much of it. This is a classical musician doing some analysis. That's why. But it works well. It's part of the 7th degree. And he plays the 3rd note, which is part of the 3rd degree, but again, at this point it doesn't matter. We're on basically an offbeat note. Sorry. So what he does is he plays the third degree, the fourth degree, I mean, bends it down, a semitone, so he plays that blues again, and he resolves it to B again. So he is doing a good job, basically staying within key, staying within, not playing dissonances and off dissonant notes on basically weak beats and offbeat places. So he's doing a great job at that. So this entire thing is basically for a fourth and a seventh degree feeling the entire time, except for here when he does a major, not a major, I mean a scale chord run from E to G sharp and then back to F sharp. But there's a strong fourth degree at the start and a strong seventh degree at the end. Let's look at this thing over here. So what it's doing here is basically doing an ascending scale, just some octave slides of an ascending scale. So what he did here is he did a slide from C sharp to D sharp, fourth degree to fifth degree. He started off fine on the because this one is the sixth degree, but again it doesn't have an identity, and so doing C sharp under it or above it in this case gives us more of a feeling of a fourth degree than a sixth degree. But it's a little harsh, but it works. It works fine. But again, because if this one is an actual E major, it wouldn't sound as well as it would work as well. But it works in this case because it's a power chord. So he did a slide from 5 to 7. So basically, this one is a little dissonant, but because this is the fifth degree of the scale, and fifth degree and the sixth degree don't share any notes. But he's doing it on a weak. It's an offbeat, and he does that again on a weak beat, and does a slide again to the sixth degree this time. So he's in the right place. He's doing the right thing. And he plays again on beat the sixth degree, although it's a weak beat, but it doesn't matter. Then he does a slide to the seventh degree, which is again a dissonant, but because it's an offbeat. This one is an offbeat, so it works very well. And then goes back to the tonic, which is fine because submedian or the sixth degree. Sometimes it's replaceable by tonic, like they replace each other sometimes for a less sense of finishing the song. Tonic is a sense of start and a finish. Subtonic is a sense of I'm not entirely home. Again, classical analysis here. I don't think Slash thought of it that way, but that's how it works here. And the next part, he plays an F sharp power chord, which is the seventh degree, and he does basically hammer on from B to C sharp, which works. B is the second, which is a sus4 above the F sharp. But I don't. Again, he didn't think of that way. Just basically a resolution. We call it adjacent resolution. In this case, so it's doing a bend from B to C sharp, and then from C sharp to D sharp, which is fine in this case because it's a consonant above the F sharp chord. It's basically the fifth degree, and then he does the third degree, and he does it on beat, and then a bend from the third degree to the fifth degree. Again, it's a entire two steps. And when he plays the B, he's playing G sharp on top of it, which is this is the tonic. This is the third degree. Third degree exists in the tonic chord, which is very fine, very allowed. And then he's playing the 14th of the G string, which in this case is G sharp, which is also the tonic. So he's doing fine. He's in a safe area right now from B and G sharp. And he plays the F sharp, which is a dissonant, but again, weak beat, where it's very fine. This one is a weak beat, so he can play that safely. And here's the funny thing: when I say fine, it means it's resolved immediately later, as you can see in here. And this one is a fast lick, so he's basically doing a lot of note under the tonic. That's why it works very well. He's playing. This one is adding a lot of notes that dissonant and consonant, but also it's resolved really quickly. So that's why it works well. So this one is a blues lick, as you can see. It's a G sharp minor blues. So this one, he went very safe in here because again he played the tonic power chord over and over again, and he played notes that would work very well above the G sharp power chord, because again it's the notes of the scale. He only added it's a note of the G sharp pentatonic blues scale, minor blues scale, and he just went apeshit, did everything. And it gave us this, and it works well. He was very safe just using the tonic in here. If he used any other degree, it would have been way messier. And in here, he's doing a full step bend. And he's playing the E power chord above it, which is the 6th degree. So what's happening here, he's playing a C sharp, a full bend to D sharp. But the bend comes off beat, which is a dissonant. But like the bend itself is really long, so that's fine. He started off on the B, which is the 5th degree. It's another note of the 6th degree scale, so it's fine. He did a bend, which is a little dissonant, but he resolved. But he's playing on an off beat and a weak section, so it's cool. So that's what's happening here, mostly like in this area, but then he does the same thing again, but this time on a sharp, on an F sharp, a 7th degree. So this one is more interesting because in this area he started off with a safe space, but this one he started off on an unsafe space. But he did end it on a safe space. So what he did was... So this safe space, because it's an F sharp, it's a bend from the 4th degree to the 5th degree, which is within 2 different chords, but they work. And it's... And then he played the G sharp, actually. This one is a G sharp, if I'm not mistaken. That's a D sharp. That's an E, that's an F sharp. No, that's actually played an F sharp, my bad. So he played an F sharp on top of the F sharp. So again, so he basically went safe in the second half of the bar, but he started off with a little dissonant. But it's cool, it worked very well. And then he played the B note and then A sharp note, which is also fine with the F sharp power chord. Probably most famous part of the entire solo. So what he did here is basically a basic classical chord use of chords. He played the notes of the D sharp major chord, if you know your chords, and the E sharp and the E major chord. So that's what he did here, and he played the D sharp power chord above this section and an E5 power chord above this section. So he went very safe. He was very safe playing this part. That's why it sounded actually very melodic, because he didn't play any crazy shenanigans. He just did what basically any classical composer would do in this case. So he played again the arpeggio with the notes of the D sharp major chord, and then a grace note slide from 6th degree to the 7th, and then he played the 6th degree and 5th degree and 6th, and when he played the 6th degree again, he made to do it on a strong beat, but when he did a strong beat, he also switched to the E5 power chord, which is the 6th degree. So he did a great job at keeping it basically simple. He made it simple in this case. He didn't do any crazy shenanigans like beforehand. And again, those are the notes of the E major chord. So afterwards we have this part. So what he's doing here is he's playing the E again, still on the. He still gives us the sixth part, sixth degree feeling. Sixth, third, again sixth degree bend, full step bend. From C sharp to D sharp, and then playing the C sharp again, on a strong beat, which is also the sixth degree, and a C sharp is basically he's giving off a more of a subdominant feeling in this case, because again, if he used any kind of chords that aren't power chords, it wouldn't work as well. It wouldn't at all. It would sound really. It wouldn't sound harsh, but you would think really hard on resolving whatever he's doing in this case. So it works fine in this case. And again, he does a full bend from C sharp to a pre-bend from C sharp to D sharp, and actually then a pull off from C sharp to B, all on weak points, so it doesn't matter. And then he does a full bend from 8 to 10 on the B string, which in this case that would be F sharp to G sharp, and he did that on top of the he did that on almost on top of the F sharp power chord. So he went again really safe there. He basically did a dissonant here and resolved it really quickly afterwards, which is very fine, and I love it. My bad. And he finished off the solo on the first degree of the scale. Again, it's a safe and efficient way of writing your guitar solos. So again, a bend, he gave a strong 7th degree feeling in this area. A strong pentatonic even feeling. So in this case, he's doing a G sharp, a tonic. And then a tonic, and an F sharp, and an F sharp, and a D sharp, and then a pre-bend, again blues, and then a bend, basically a bend that gives off a strong tonic feeling. And that's the entirety of the solo. He went really safe in making a lot of parts of it, and went a little crazy on other parts, like this area. This area is a little dissonant, and this area at first is dissonant, but the rest are pretty safe. Like in this case, if he used anything other than a G sharp power chord, he would have had a terrible time writing a melody on top of anything but that. But yeah, again, Slash knows what he's doing. I'd say he has ears more than knowledge. Like his ears are insane, that's for sure. Because a lot of the things here are like we can use them as musicians. We can use them, but we wouldn't think of them that way. Again, what I do here is classical. Basically, I would analyze classical music. And classical music is a different era, different thinking, different stuff like that. And that's how we teach music nowadays. So what's happening here is pure, I would say it's mostly his ears working more than his brain. That's what I think, at least. But again, an interesting solo. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anything. And subscribe to my music channel. And subscribe to this channel. And see you in the next video.